sultans like Sultan Abdulhamid Han, Janat Makan, used to do carpentry besides their high position and busy schedule. What is the wisdom in this?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is something we've spoken about, but let me say a couple of words here. The Ottoman Sultans, they were following the traditions of the Holy Prophet ﷺ and all the prophets very strongly, and they're taking it very seriously. Every prophet, they had a profession. They had a thing where they were doing, other than being a prophet, other than being a father, other than being a commander, other than being a husband, other than being all these things, they have something that they do. For example, Hazrat Musa, his profession, he was a shepherd. For example, Hazrat Isa, he was involved in what? A medicine. For example, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, it was trade. So something that is connected to the dunya, but they were not doing it for the dunya. It's connected to the dunya. Something from the dunya. But they were not doing it to become millionaires or to gain from this world. In the time that the Ottomans were ruling, there were so many, especially in the West, that they would consider any trade or any, let's say what? Profession, especially something that involves their hands to do something. In Europe, it was considered very low level. If aristocracy, nobility, those high class, high station people, if they do anything, even business, they say it's very low level because the business is very low. Forget about trying to be a shepherd or to be a businessman or to be a carpenter. So, you see any pope trying to be a carpenter? Because they believe Isa alayhi salam was a carpenter. It's a big sunnah. You don't see them. They sit on a nice big chair, but they don't even make one chair. But the Ottoman Sultans, they were holding that properly. And at that time, so many Muslims also were falling off from that tradition. They say it's not that it's not that important, they say. But the Ottoman Sultans were doing that very strongly, and the Mughal Sultans were also doing that very strongly. They rule, they administer, they fight, they do so many things, but they also do something with their hands. And the very blessed ones, whatever that they make from their hands, they would sell it. And with the money, only with that money, they'll feed their families. They can own millions of acres of land, untold wealth, but they don't use that for themselves and for their families. So, for example, the Alamgir, no? Sultan, the emperor in the Mughal Empire, he was making kufi, no? He was knitting, making a kufi, selling it, and taking the money and feeding his family, or feeding himself with it. They were very precise with things like that. Some of them, they were calligraphers, some sultans. Some of them, they were just copying out the Quran. So the wisdom for that is, number one, it is a prophetic tradition. And with that, so many secrets will be revealed when you're doing a sunnat of a prophet and you're doing it with sincerity and with intelligence. The last time that we were in Turkey, I was speaking with the Shahzadeh, and we were talking about his grandfather, Sultan Abdulhamid Khan, and he was talking about how he was doing carpentry, making furniture. That great Ulu Hakan, the Padishah and the Khalifa of Islam. He was making carpentry, and he said, with that, so many answers to the questions that he has in being an emperor and being a Khalifa comes to him. The answers come to him when he's doing that. So what is this telling us again, as Muslims, as murids, living in these times? It's not stories. It's not something that we say, oh, mashallah, mashallah, they do. Oh, very good, they do. As if they need our approval. This is for us to copy. So many people know this, right? How many are actually copying? Alhamdulillah for our Shaykh. You say, you take bayat, huh? You love the Prophet, huh? You love the awliya, huh? Okay. Now go to the barn. What? I come here to make dhikr. No, zikr, mikr. Go to the barn, take a shovel and shovel all that shit, let's say, very directly. Do that. So many they break. Okay? But to do that, to deal with the animals, that is the profession of all prophets. First, they have to be a shepherd. So if you cannot even pass being a shepherd, you cannot even pass being in that situation, smelling that, being filled with that, doing something like that, then forget about your tariqat, marifat, hakikat, azamat. Forget about all of that. That becomes just games. Because the one who can control a flock of sheep, possibility he can control himself and people. The one who cannot control a flock of sheep, how are you going to be able to control people? That's why the prophets, their training is to be a shepherd first. Something went through so many years. Hazrat Musa went through so many years. He went through all of that court training, yeah? To be trained as a king. He was living there. And all the skills of a king, which is 99% cannot be given, cannot be found, or cannot be practiced by the people who are common, because it's only reserved for those higher classes, he got. But from those high classes, they cannot even take certain basic knowledge of the common people, because they consider it not from their class. That Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, when he met Hazrat Shu'aib, now he's saying, now you have to be a shepherd. Years he was a shepherd. So only after that he says, now the call for you to go, control your people. The command coming. You can control that, you can control people. So people who are coming in this Naqshbandi way, okay, I don't care, you can be a businessman, a lawyer, a doctor, this or that, doesn't matter. There are certain things that you have to do, not only as a training, but also to be able to step in your ego. So many people, they come here wearing nice turban, mashallah, nice clothes, nice jubba, nice. They don't wear jubba anyway, we have more manners than that. We like the Shaykh to wear jubba. Nice shalwar, nice haidaria and everything. There are times you say, okay, it's good. But now morning time comes, take off everything, wear your work clothes, and do something with that sincerity, knowing that it is sunnat. So many things will open to you also. We just had a brother here. He was here so many years ago, and he still remembers how he was so excited. He came here and he bought new clothes just to be at the DERGAH. But because him, or all of us, most of us, we come from the city anyway. So nice city clothes he's getting, nice white, clean tracksuit, this, that. I'm sure when you saw him wearing all of that, go to the barn. Now he had to dig up and dirty himself a little. But he still remembers. 10 years, 20 years, 30, he will still remember. People who come to our way and they see this, they say, what kind of tariqat is this? We're supposed to sit down and talk about marifat. Now I'm going to shovel the manure. What? I'm going to clean the bathroom. What? I'm to serve people? What? I have people washing me up and saying wrong things and I have to swallow my anger? What kind of a Islam is this? This is the Prophet's Islam. It's Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq's Islam. This is Islam of our Shaykhs. If you like that kind of Islam, stay. If you want different kinds of Islam, as everyone is saying there are different kinds of Islam, then you're free. We don't want. We want the Islam of the Prophet ﷺ. So we hold on to that. Of course, it doesn't mean, don't get scared now. People are going to say, oh, I take bayat, then I'm going to be stuck in the barn all my life. There was a time we were all stuck there, almost all of us, all our lives too. So many didn't complain. And so much is given to them. People would come to the DERGAH wanting to come here, they want to come. They spend thousands of dollars traveling 10,000 miles in the winter time coming from tropical countries, only to be told, okay, put on your work clothes and go to the barn. Every day they were doing that, but they were enjoying themselves. They were feeling different things, understanding different things. But we're a little bit crazy like that, you see. Because we're following our Shaykh and we're seeing the improvements. Sometimes we can do that, sometimes we do other things. Sometimes we move from doing that to do other things. It's okay. But everybody has to pass through that. As we said so many times, in so many weeks, what do you think you're going to reach to the same level, same paradise, without being tested? At least we may say, Ya Rabbi, we cannot do more. But we had a taste. Make us to be strong, but do not test us. وَمِنَ اللَّهُ تَوْفِيقَ الْفَاتِحَةِ. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. This much is enough. Al-Fatiha.